All right, welcome to the first episode of the Super Comedy Bros podcast. I'm Cameron.
And I'm Paul.
Yeah, really excited to get started on this. So, a little bit before then, I guess we can just talk about. So we're going to talk about the new Godzilla Netflix series. Before that, we can talk a little bit about just other things going on. Like, have you seen the new Tomb Raider trailer?
I have not. I saw the first one.
Yeah, I mean they haven't really shown much more than they did, but it still looks good, which is a good sign. Not as much you can go wrong as like with Assassin's Creed, because the problem with Assassin's Creed was like it looked good because we only saw the assassin stuff.
Yeah,
But then it turned out it was like 20 minutes of assassin stuff or something like that, and like 80 minutes of just Benedict Cumberbatch sitting in a science room or something like that.
or wasn't it Michael Fassbender?
Oh yeah, I don't know why I get those two confused.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably give Tomb Raider a shot. I liked the first Angelina Jolie movie. I think it's big stupid fun.
Yeah.
Second one was stupid fun. Not as great. This one seems good, and I really like Walter Goggins. He's always a great villain. So
yeah, well, because the first movies were of course based off of the original series of games, which those games were fun, but they seem very antiquated now. In many ways, and I think the new series of Tomb Raider is really good, first of all, and I like this new version of Lara, and I like the new backstory and everything. So I think that this game this new movie looks really good in that regard, and that it doesn't even look like a video game movie. It just looks like a solid movie.
Yeah, it might not be a day one watch, but I'll definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, it'll definitely be like more of a after it's been out a little bit, but yeah, I mean it looks pretty good. But yeah, we got and so I'm trying to think what the next. I guess the next Marvel movie is going to be Black Panther, and then it's going to be Infinity War. Which Black Panther looks pretty good. Infinity War, I mean, it'll be good. I mean, I'm not sold on it being better than any given Avengers movie, but I mean, I'm kind of sold on Black Panther because that looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'd be honest. The Black Panther trailer made me more excited to go see Black Panther than the Civil War trailer made me to go see Civil War. Yeah. I'm not a big Marvel fan. I probably will watch them, and it is really cool seeing like 800 characters in a movie trailer and kind of
knowing what they all are.
Yeah, knowing what they all are, and then also kind of sitting there and thinking, like, wow, we're kind of spoiled now. Like this is cool. Like I remember when the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie trailer came out, and I was like, oh, it's a comic book movie. I gotta go see it. And now it's kind of like every comic book character's on the screen.
Oh yeah.
And it's just another movie of the year type thing. It's kind of neat. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, because it's like it's because a lot of people talk about like the comic book movie fatigue setting in, and it's like I don't really see it that way. I see it more of it's just been normalized. It's the excitement is gone, but I'm still happy about it.
Yeah,
it's not like fatigue, like too many comic book movies. It's just like it's nice now. I don't see them all, but now I'm still seeing a regular supply of comic book movies.
Yeah, and you'll have to forgive me, but it's got to be close to 20 films in 10 years that are all tied together, and that's impressive.
I want to say Infinity War will be number 20, and that's this year. So yeah,
and that's a lot of movies in 10 years.
Yeah, that is an insane amount. Because 2008 was Iron Man.
Yeah, and to keep everything together, to keep everything moving forward, it's kind of neat. You can argue that there is kind of like a conveyor belt formula to Marvel, but to be able to have a film empire that big with that's competing with you know James Bond and is going to overtake that very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, because how many Bond movies are there?
24, I believe.
Wow.
23, 24. I think 25 will be the next one. So
yeah, and you're right. The fact that they're all connected is actually a little bit more, in some ways, a little bit more impressive. In that, because like James Bond, I love James Bond movies, but like once they switch actors every so many years, like that's new Bond, they're tangentially related.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, there's, actually, are we getting a new James Bond? But well, no, because it's gonna be Daniel Craig again.
Yeah, I think he's signed on again.
Yeah.
But that's so early,
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to hear anything soon.
Yeah. But yeah, actually, well, while we're on the topic about Marvel, there's obviously that deal with Fox that was going down.
Mm-hmm.
Deal with Fox. I don't know if that's even the right word. They like bought half of Fox or something.
Yeah, the way I saw it is they bought it a lot. They didn't buy all of Fox, but they bought a huge percentage of their entertainment.
Yeah.
And that also includes their Marvel characters.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, it's cool, but it's scary.
Yeah.
Like Marvel fans are like huge and really excited for it. Me as like a film guy, it's kind of weird because Disney just ate one of its 4 rivals.
Yeah,
and that's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of creeping towards a monopoly. It's going, they're supposed to be there to keep each other, in check, and Disney just swallowed one whole. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
To think about, but I don't think there's anything to worry about.
No, I think that, I mean,
Disney owned Miramax when Pulp Fiction came out, so I don't think people need to worry about Deadpool being touched. I don't think they need to be worried about some of the other films.
And they've even said that, like, in a press conference, they don't plan on necessarily changing anything because they've had they just don't release them under the Disney name directly, but Disney's released R-rated movies before, and it's not, and I mean, again, if it's not like a Disney branded movie, there's a lot of leeway. I mean, even in the Marvel movies, I mean, it's not gloss over the fact that they definitely filmed Yondu walking out of the room with a robot hooker.
Yeah, that's true.
That was a thing that actually happened.
Yeah,
so they're not that shy about it as long as it's not one of their like animated like Disney branded deals. But the main thing in regards to the Marvel properties that they got is, of course, X-Men. A lot of people are like, yo, we gotta have Wolverine back, which Hugh Jackman is awesome, but you don't bring him back for one more. Like, because
I'd say let him. Like, he went out with Logan. He went out strong.
Like, that was his swan song or whatever,
there's literally, I think if you added all of them up, 852 million X-Men characters. Probably. And I'd like to see them kind of, explore that. That's kind of neat. Cyclops has always been kind of, he's been relegated to just being the Boy Scout / jerk of the group. And I'd kind of like to see him, I mean, in the comics he can be, but it would be kind of neat to see him in a more heroic light and to see some of those other characters hold their own without having to have Hugh Jackman's Wolverine take the cake.
Yeah, that's kind of been the problem, and actually, like, maybe this deal will stop Marvel's systematic like genocide of the X-Men brand. I don't know if you know how much about that but
a little.
It's been getting like exponentially worse. Cyclops is actually dead, and has been for a while, and like they basically turned him into like a for reals terrorist before he went, like extremist, like Magneto before they killed him. Like like they were really tearing the walls down with X-Men to get rid of it. But yeah, I guess I can stop now. But yeah, like but as far as Wolverine goes, like yeah, I agree. And not only that, but they're not going to just roll. I really doubt if they decide to roll X-Men into like the main Marvel universe, which I'm against personally for a number of reasons. Namely, I think you showed me the comic where there's the guy holding the sign that all mutants should die while wearing a Spider-Man shirt.
Yeah,
and like that hurts my brain, and it doesn't make sense.
No,
but
it doesn't.
but not only that, but it's like they're probably gonna recast, and even if you do have Wolverine in there, you're not gonna bring him in for one more movie.
No,
and he's like 50 or 60, like
he's getting up there.
Like how many more Wolverines are there in him?
He's a spry guy, but even he's saying I'm tired and getting old, and he did a great job.
Yeah.
But Wolverine is not the X-Men.
No.
He's one
of the X-Men.
And
a cool X-Men, but not the only X-Men.
Yeah, so
yeah, like give us some more. But yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we are on the topic. We've been talking about Marvel. Yeah. We led into Disney, but or ate Fox. Another big franchise would be Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird because we're sitting here in January, and wasn't Han Solo supposed to come out in May?
Yeah, so
we don't have a trailer, we don't have anything, and I'm gonna say I think it's unnecessary, and
I'm gonna say I don't actually want it.
I don't either. I'm worried about it, yeah. But I will be there opening night because I love Star Wars, and even though I hate the fact that they're doing it,
yeah,
I'm awful. I'll still watch it, and if it is good, I will eat that crow.
Yeah.
And I will, I'll lick the plate because, if they can do something fun, that's great. But yeah, it's kind of weird. We haven't heard anything other than negative, and
yeah,
you want them to do good, but at the same time,
it's hard when they're as much set trouble as they had, and like I guess from what I understand, there's a big problem of everybody that was working on it was basically just doing improv, like they're like improving so much of it that once like somebody on set like told the higher ups like, hey guys, they're going like off script like crazy, like this is just like a goofy nonsense, like they came down on them pretty hard. But yeah,
and I don't know, I'm super cool with a lot of Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
I will say with Last Jedi, I until I watched it, I wasn't feeling it because when Episode 7 came out, that was the first Star Wars that we had in almost 10 years. So there was something like mythical about it.
Yeah.
But now we have a Star Wars every year. Like they're fighting a lot of wars up in those stars, and the first two, I guess, expanded films are still within the same timeline that we're at. I'm actually more excited for Rian Johnson's trilogy. Say what you will about Last Jedi, he's a good director. He has some crazy ideas, and a lot of people don't want him messing with characters. They didn't like the way he wrote characters. But if he's making his own thing that is, unrelated to the Skywalkers, it's unrelated to what we've seen, and he makes a movie, I think that he could do something great, and that excites me. Han Solo is supposed to be mysterious.
Yeah.
His whole character is like myth.
Yeah. Well, I'd actually argue one step higher than that. He's not supposed to be mysterious. We're not supposed to be interested, I guess. It's everything that he did up to that point is supposed to be like less interesting than, because he was just a smuggler. Yeah. Like he was just this guy who got into some stuff. And it's not mysterious. Like,
and it's kind of neat. Like in this next Han Solo, we're going to see him get Chewie. We're going to see him do the Kessel Run. We're going to see him
get those dice.
Get the dice. He's going to win, at gambling against Lando to get the Millennium Falcon. But that stuff is kind of neat when it's just not told. It's kind of neat that you've got this guy who has a colorful past, but you're seeing people react to him, and that's kind of what makes that character. Plus, when you're saying, "Oh, we're making a young Han Solo," Harrison Ford wasn't that old.
No, he was not that old, and for that matter, I guess one of the big things is it's like when you see somebody walking around and it's like they got a lot of interesting things going on that got a story. Like they got a ring and a necklace or whatever that looks unique, and you just see everything about them. It's like there's a story everywhere. Mm-hmm. Even certain characters like Jack Sparrow, all of his baubles and this and that. Mm-hmm. If all of those are acquired in one movie, it kind of looks like they just went to the store and was like, I need to look interesting, so let me just buy all these backstory items and put them on all at the same time.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think
I'd like to give him credit.
Ron Howard's an incredible director, and so if they're bringing in him to quote unquote save the movie, he's going to do. We're going to have fun. We're going to have those classic film moments because he comes from Spielberg. He comes from Zemeckis. He is of that era of filmmakers, and so I think he'll do a good job. But I'm kind of curious. Are we going to see something here in the next few weeks, and then in less than 5 months have a movie, or are they delaying it? I haven't really read up on that.
What I had heard, the rumor, and when I say rumor, it was an anonymous but trusted source. It was, excuse me, it's going to drop on the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And so we'll see. And I'd like to think that they have a little bit of restraint and that it'll be the Chewie's always going to be in it. That's fine. I always kind of had I was always of the impression that he met Chewie after he'd already been doing his thing for a while, but whatever. But maybe they won't do it all in one movie. Mm-hmm. Maybe maybe the movie doesn't end with him having the Millennium Falcon and doing the Kessel Run and all that.
My fear is, as cool as it would be, that he's like, "Hey Chewie, let's go get a drink at this bar on Tatooine." I could see them doing that ending, and that would be kind of a neat, hey, but please don't, because that would kind of negate the fact that him and Chewie have been buddies for years.
Yeah.
Leading up to it, and then you're going to be like, oh well, they knew each other technically for a week.
Yeah.
So that we could get this ending. It worked for Rogue One. It worked really well for Rogue One.
It was, unusually.
But we don't need that,
because normally when people try and do a prequel where, and I'm not talking about the Star Wars prequels, mm-hmm. but just in general, when you try and do a prequel where there wasn't room for one originally, it gets messy.
It's real messy.
Because you want things. Because it's usually the studio wants the prequel to end where the other ones picked up. But the problem with that is, that doesn't leave any room for development, you know what I mean, for the characters. It's just boom, boom. Now it's we did that, these are the events that immediately preceded. And it's mm-hmm. So you mean that character has only been in his, business or profession for, a week? Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. So I guess to wrap the Star Wars thing up is not super excited about Han Solo. I will go see it. Yeah. Because I love me some Star Wars.
And they haven't screwed us yet.
No.
Right? Some people don't like Episode 8, and that's fine. I get it. I did. So for me, they haven't made one that I haven't liked. Mm-hmm. So I'll go see it. You know? And because I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt until they prove me wrong.
I just maybe hope that this drama teaches them that they should not do Boba Fett the movie, or IG-88 the movie, or Cantina Guys the movie. Because, Boba Fett, say what you will, some people love him, some people hate him. Nobody can deny that he's super cool. He has a really awesome costume. he catches your attention, but that's about it.
Yeah, there's no room for
there's really not.
Like
his run on the Clone Wars was really cool. That's good. I know in the expanded universe he escapes the Sarlacc pit and he's this super awesome, just bad dude all the time. But there's no room.
No.
He's not in 7 and 8.
No.
I don't really care. I like that he's just a super cool looking dude that's there. I'm actually more upset that I'm not getting more Phasma.
Yeah, she got schwacked pretty hard there.
Yeah, and I'm almost scared that she's going to come back again, like a Franken Phasma and
like she's gonna start with them screwing her head onto a robot body.
Yeah, or something. Because but again, she is kind of like Boba Fett, where she's this visually interesting character, and you're like, ooh, sweet, but the movies don't really care that much, so I don't care that much. But I don't know, we'll see. And
and I think I'm right there with you. Like, if they do more of this expanded universe stuff with the movies, I'd rather see just stuff in the universe, but not characters we've seen before.
Oh yeah. Or hey, if you want to throw Boba Fett in there, make a smugglers movie, or not smugglers, like a bounty hunter movie.
Yeah,
something like that. That would be cool. Let him remain that mysteriously cool guy. But I just
like as a cameo or something, or like almost like as the bad guy. Like, they don't beat him; they just have to get away from Boba Fett.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. But at the at the end of the day, I think we need to get away from. Let 7 through 9 be the Skywalker story, and if Disney's gonna be pumping out Star Wars, I want something completely new.
Yeah.
And I want the legacy of Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher to be that.
Yeah.
Not have younger people playing younger versions of them. We've already seen younger. We can't.
Because nothing's gonna beat the portrayals of the characters in the original movies. But yeah, I mean, and I think you're right. Like, that's pretty much all there's to say on that.
But since we are on colossal movie franchises that have spanned decades,
kidding.
We have a pretty big critter looming over the podcast.
Yeah.
Who's had, I want to say, over 30 films.
That it? I figured it would be more. Is that just Godzilla films, or is that films that he's been in?
Films that he's been in.
Okay.
I believe. And that is counting the Broderick one.
Okay,
People say they don't want to count it, but if you've ever seen Final Wars, you have to count it.
Hey, yo, I mean, he was in there.
Yeah, so we've got, originally when it was coming out, it was Godzilla Monster Planet. Now on Netflix, it's just Godzilla. And to my surprise, it is a multi-part movie miniseries.
I was thinking it was, so initially, I was thinking that it was a series. And then I logged on. I was like, I'm just gonna bust out the episode. Like, I'm gonna start. You start on this series now, and I was like, "There's only one." Okay, so it's a movie, and then it wraps up, and I'm like, "It doesn't wrap up."
No,
we're getting more of this.
We are, and I guess we should say that we are we're in spoiler territory now, people.
Well, let's talk about just impressions for a few minutes, and then I'll put a time code so people know when spoilers start and end.
Yeah. I was just saying, if you don't want to hear anything, I know.
Yeah, if you want to be completely fresh, just know it's Godzilla, and it's a Godzilla story you have never seen before.
And it's really cool. I guess going back, why I thought it was a movie is I had friends in Japan who were posting photos of the theaters getting ready for it. With all the movie posters and the giant standees, in the lobbies of the Toho cinemas. And so I was sitting there going, okay, this is going to be like a 2-hour animated film. but now I'm surprised because now it's going to be a little bit over 3 hours.
Yeah.
And
do we know how many we're getting, or is it just going to be like the one more? Or?
I think it's 3.
Oh wow! So it's going to be, because this one was
could be
an hour 20.
Could be more.
This one was like an hour 20. So well, with credits probably a little less. So yeah, I mean a little over 3 hours. Probably like 3.5, 3:40.
And it is it's really cool. Because it's definitely a Godzilla that hasn't been done before,
which I didn't think they could do personally. I was like, all right, I'm gonna see some Godzilla, like whatever.
Yeah.
I'm down because I've never seen like an animated Godzilla movie. I'm sure there was one, but
we had series, but it was like the Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, and then they did one based on the Broderick.
Yeah,
which was actually good. Have you ever seen that?
I remember seeing a few episodes.
Yeah, so like the premise is they find a baby Godzilla, and so it's like a version of the Broderick Godzilla, but it's like King Kong size, I guess, like original King Kong. But it has the atomic breath.
Yeah,
and so it's basically they just go world trekking, fighting monsters,
which is pretty neat.
It is pretty cool.
And I'm big. I'm a big Godzilla fan.
But yeah, they managed to do something we hadn't seen before.
Yeah, and I want to say I've seen almost every single Godzilla film. Started a few years back.
Yeah, I need to catch up.
Yeah, my fiance, girlfriend at the time, we sat down to watch the first one because I had remembered vividly like Godzilla versus Mothra. Yeah. And Godzilla versus King Kong, and like that kind of goofy 70s Godzilla. And so I thought, oh well, yeah, we'll watch this first one. It'll be fun. We'll make fun of it. And we watched it, and we're actually kind of blown away with how well done that movie is.
It's surprisingly good.
It's hokey now, I guess. Yeah. If you were to show it to a kid now, they'd probably laugh at it.
Well, it depends on the age. I think there's a curve.
There is, but if you put yourself in that mindset in the 50s with this movie coming out, it's very good. It's very well made, and it's actually quite terrifying.
Yeah,
and scary. And so we thought, oh my gosh, like we'll keep watching these until they get bad. Like let's see how long it takes for this movie to jump the shark. Turns out it only took one movie.
Oh,
because Raids Again is pretty hokey, but it's become kind of like this like.
They figured out that lightning wasn't going to strike twice. They had to do something else.
Yeah, and so it's been fun seeing all the different incarnations of Godzilla.
Having said that, we are back to Godzilla being scary again.
Yeah.
Like they've circled back to that, so that's good.
Japan's done a good job because we had. I would say the American Godzilla that's a kind of divisive film. I liked it. I had a fun time with it.
I will say this: the main complaint with that film that people had was the amount of Godzilla in it. Now, to be fair, I would have liked more Godzilla. However, I saw it compared, and it's actually average.
Yeah, Godzilla is
average amount of Godzilla.
Yeah, he's surprisingly
sparse.
Yeah, and in the movies, especially the older ones, you get this whole human drama deal, and then Godzilla just kind of shows up, smashes some buildings, and leaves.
Yeah.
Or saves the day. And I was actually really kind of.
Yeah. I was really surprised to see the numbers on that and find out that it's about average. Yeah.
But he was scary, but I was very surprised that he was a heroic Godzilla. I wasn't expecting him because all the trailers. The American trailers made it seem like this, like a genuine, almost horror film. And then you go in and you watch it, and I can see where people got upset because now it's like, oh wait, no, this is hero Godzilla. This is 70s Godzilla where he saves people.
Which makes sense if you're wanting to make sequels because you can't have like. Whatever you want to say, villain decay, monster decay sits in really quick if he's the bad guy. It does,
but then not to be outdone, you get Japan and Toho makes Shin Godzilla, who is genuinely the most terrifying Godzilla I think there ever has been. I don't know how they're going to continue that franchise.
What was the tagline? It was like a god incarnate or something like that.
And that thing is terrifying. Like he is scary. He's unstoppable. He's unsettling to look at.
Yeah, it was. The first time I saw. I haven't seen the whole movie yet, but the first time I saw scenes of it, I was like, "Who? Like that's unsettling." Because like he looks unsettling.
He does. He kind of.
It's upsetting to see. Like
he looks. Well, we got Hideaki Anno, the director, and you could definitely tell that he wanted the original Godzilla, who looks weird and goofy with the googly eyes, but there's something weird. There's something like...
Well, it's because of how they did his skin.
Yeah.
Because they modeled it after the radiation burns that people got who survived the nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
And that's how they did Godzilla's skin in the original one. And it's not the same, but I think they took the same principles of making it look injured.
Above all, he's almost bigger than Tokyo. I mean, he's bigger than even the American Godzilla, who people thought was laughably. Godzilla. They thought it was laughably huge.
Yeah.
And then you get Shin, and he's taller than most of the buildings and unstoppable.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, and now with Monster Planet, you get yet again another Godzilla that is very imposing. And it's one of the things I really liked about the movie. There were some nitpicky things I didn't enjoy about the movie. But the one thing I did enjoy was Godzilla was a beast.
Yeah. Not to backtrack too much, but Hideaki, what else did he direct? Because that name sounds really familiar.
Yeah, he's responsible for Evangelion. So,
yeah. Which, okay, to be fair, I won't spend much time on this because obviously we're on Godzilla mode. To be fair, everything but the last episode of that anime is worth every single positive, every bit of iconic,
it's
you know, it's literally just the ending, but yeah, that's a whole other thing.
And if you have seen Shin Godzilla, it's almost like watching an episode of Evangelion, and the way it the story
because they do a good job of. I didn't even really think about that, but I could see how he'd be good at it because the monsters in Evangelion were just these untouchable,
even the direction and the use of text and the way the cuts were. And he even used music from Evangelion in Shin Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
And the ending shot of that film, I'm not going to say anything just in case, but the ending shot is 100%, an Anno vision, and it's haunting, and it's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
But yeah. All right. So the animated film, we're probably going to get into a little bit more of the spoilery territory. But I'll put a time code in the description so you know where to skip to if you don't want any of that nonsense. But yeah, so first of all, knew nothing going in. Mm-hmm. I'd only seen a picture of Godzilla, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Did not expect it to start in space.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So yeah, Earth just...
Yeah, and it's kind of neat because Godzilla has fought a ton of aliens, but he's only ever... the movie's only ever been in space once or twice before.
Yeah. Because they have gone to other planets at least once or twice, but yeah, it's
once.
Yeah, once. But it wasn't like it wasn't just people flying off into space.
No,
it was just somehow he ends up there.
Yeah, and that's cool. That's something that was really cool that I liked about the movie is Godzilla was so powerful.
Earth left.
Yeah, everyone left because they couldn't handle him. And it's kind of neat because the beginning, they kind of start talking about, kaiju, and they talk about these. And if you pay attention, a lot of them are references to older Godzilla monsters. You get a little tease of a Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of Hedorah and kind of this anime version of what he would have been. And that's really cool.
So, I got mixed feelings on it because, now that I know it's not just a one-off thing, it's on one hand, it's I kind of would have liked to have seen a little bit more of that, but I don't know what direction they're going. So to be fair, like they could have like this I had no clue where we were going with this.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one could be just as fresh and unknown, you know.
It could. And
It was just they did a good job of making him feel unstoppable.
yeah, and it's surprising because he's kind of like this perfect fusion of Shin Godzilla and American 2014
Yeah.
Godzilla. And it's kind of neat because you can, it's not Toho saying, "Oh, I hate this American film." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, to my understanding, the American Godzilla is actually popular in Japan, isn't it?
My friends that are Japanese and live there, they all really enjoyed it. I know some people didn't like it.
Well, yeah, some people aren't going to, regardless. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't like the general consensus wasn't like, oh, these Americans have ruined Godzilla again.
No, and yeah, as you can see, this movie I can only imagine is kind of a little love letter saying, well, hey, we like that design, so we're going to use it. Yeah, because
he does look a little bit like he looks a little bit like the linebacker Godzilla, but he's still a little unsettling, kind of like Shin Godzilla.
And the way his skin is, the way he kind of like acts is a very kind of Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
And so it's neat because he wrecks Earth
so hard. Everybody just has to leave.
Everyone has to leave, and then
which it's interesting they brought the aliens in as like the good guys.
Yeah,
they were like, we'll help you get rid of Godzilla if we can live here because our planet's gone. And then like Godzilla's like, homie, you came to the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah,
like,
and traditionally the aliens are the bad guys in Godzilla movies. The
most consistently bad guys.
The humanoid aliens. There's a shockingly high amount of Godzilla films where there's an evil corporation, and then you find out towards the end, well, they're another race of aliens, or they're a race of cockroaches disguised as humans.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat seeing the humanoid aliens that you're expecting to be bad guys, and they might be. We don't know yet,
Yeah, because it ends on a weird note. Like I'm not sure,
but they're definitely helping, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I also thought it was. I also thought it was interesting that we didn't see anything of Monarch, because that's like the go-to, like that. Like, isn't Monarch the like?
That's the American.
Oh, is that the American?
Yeah, that's going to be
okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of you see Monarch and Kong Skull Island, and this 2014.
Are they not in like the original movies?
Not that I remember.
Okay, because I remember when we saw him in the American Godzilla, there was something familiar about it, but I guess maybe that's just my imagination. It's been a long time since I saw the original Godzilla.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it somewhat recently, but it was in a busy setting, so I didn't get to pay much attention.
So yeah, the humanity leaves. Godzilla has destroyed most of civilization, and years passed, so you kind of get a little bit with the main character, and as he was a child leaving Earth, and loses his family, or loses his parents. His grandfather is the one that gets him on board a ship, but he's an adult, and he's a military officer, but mankind's running out of supplies.
So yeah, they have to turn back because they're like searching for a new Earth, and it's just like, we're not gonna find one. We need to go back while we still have enough to get back.
Yeah, but they've done research on Godzilla, and they think they know, and the main character knows. He's sure he knows how to take out Godzilla.
Yeah, which I did think it was interesting that they, that it wasn't just like, we need a bigger bomb. Like there was actually like a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And like, okay, how can we? It was an interesting way to make it be like, okay, how can he wipe out all of humanity and then still be taken out by like a small military force?
Yeah,
and it makes sense, and they did a good job of that.
And it's kind of neat. I thought it was very almost like a pseudo Attack on Titan, because spoilers, Godzilla's back dorsal fin is a weak point. That's where it's his exhaust kind of, that's his Death Star exhaust port
Yeah,
is
and
his
I
dorsal
definitely
fin.
got a Aaron Yeager feel from the main character
Yeah, and so
too.
the main character, he's like, I see you. When he finally,
Like, I'll kill
yeah, he
you.
finally gets to Godzilla towards the end of the film. Yeah, he has a very Aaron Yeager, like, hey, we meet again. Now it's my turn to kill you. And of course, it's a bunch of dudes zipping around, this time on speeder bikes, but they are trying to get behind Godzilla to get that nice
Yeah.
little weak spot. And that's not a bad thing.
No, and it's handled well. It's not like, oh, well, he just has a weak spot. Like
Yeah.
they had to do a timed thing and like,
and they had to find it. Like
it was yeah.
So it's pretty neat and.
But yeah, they set it up for. I honestly have no clue where they're going to be going.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool seeing, so they come back to the planet Earth, and everything's changed because they thought that they were gone for 10,000 years, but they did the math wrong somehow. These scientists didn't figure that they're more close to 20,000 years has passed on Earth. There's these like kind of dragon, almost Monster Hunter dragony kind of like creature things, and the plants are like steel, so they like cut stuff.
Yeah.
So the environment is insanely hostile, and then you get to Shin, who's this like metallic blade. Just blades kind of it's like his body itself is a weapon. When he finally shows up and he rears his head, it's pretty impressive. And his atomic breath is kind of cool in this one. It's like a really quick bullet. It's not a long.
Yeah, it's like a precision beam.
Yeah,
and it's really cool.
I guess we can talk about visuals
because like it was breathtaking. Like
there's some good stuff. I thought the character animation, it's kind of like that CGI anime.
Yeah,
and it's a little stiff, but a lot of the environment is still.
It was the close-up stuff. Mostly like mouth stuff was a little weird. But yeah, like the environmental stuff. Like once they got on Earth, it was like, wow. Like
and it's
like the overgrown cities or whatever,
Yeah, and it's kind of neat because it has like to me it felt like Ridley Scott's take on Godzilla, because everything's real science-y and very like this dirty future. And the ships kind of looked like an alien.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like the Nostromo or the Sulaco, and it did have this kind of like, I don't know, that like we have to be really smart with this sci-fi type.
Yeah. And they even acknowledge, well, so first of all, just to clear it up, it's not that humanity had been traveling for 10,000 years or 20,000 years. It's because of relativity, because when you're moving that fast
away,
through like time moves differently, and so it hadn't been that long for them. It had only been like 20 years, but on Earth
it's 20,000.
And the other thing is like they even acknowledge like it's something weird going on, because even 20,000 years wouldn't be enough for the amount of change that happens.
Yeah, and they kind of drop this big hint of like, wait, how could Godzilla still be alive? Like 20,000 years is,
It's a much even for Godzilla. Like,
yeah, so that's kind of neat, and
it's certainly interesting.
Godzilla gets a lot of screen time this time around.
Yeah, and I'm a little mixed on it. I liked a lot of it. Some of it was like just okay on.
Yeah, it dragged. It definitely dragged. It's neat, but it kind of got a little too caught up in its science-ness.
Yeah.
And I think maybe because it's a series, I feel like a lot of anime do that, where they kind of front load so that they can start getting to the cool stuff later.
Yeah. And like, I guess the other criticism I guess I would have is it was super awesome seeing something I hadn't seen before, but the fun and appeal of a giant monster movie like Godzilla is seeing Godzilla causing all this destruction.
Yeah.
There was nothing for Godzilla to destroy, because it was just the forest and whatnot. So it was like, it was kind of cool, but there was nothing for him. I was waiting. Like, I was waiting for, because I could have sworn I saw like a glimpse of it, but I guess I was wrong, of like there were still being people there, and maybe they were going to run across the civilization.
Spoilers, there are. there's an end credit tease.
Oh, I missed the Untitled Creed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you did. So there was a very, very, very like, I think I just saw that shot in which you see like a humanoid figure spine.
Yeah. See, that's what I thought
it was. Search party. And it does. So there are still people, and they have white hair, and they look like moe anime chicks, but we'll see what the men look like.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, all right then. That's cool.
But you're right though, because Godzilla just kind of walks through a forest, which to him is like an empty plain.
Yeah.
So when you get to the action, and they're using these speeder bikes to fight Godzilla, it's still visually fun how they're flying around him and stuff, but it kind of is just a big Godzilla walking through a green field.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how what they go in the future with it. But yeah, I mean, just segue a little bit out of that Godzilla and a little into some video game stuff. There's a new Monster Hunter that looks really good. Mm-hmm. First Monster Hunter on a console since the Wii.
No, there was Xbox.
Was it like
360?
Was it like a mainline one, or was it one of those like Monster Hunter stories?
No, it was Frontier, so it played like a main. It was an MMO, but it played.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it was online only in Japan, and it played just like the others. Kind of looked just like the others.
Yeah.
I just never got brought over.
Gotcha. So they're like Dragon's Dogma Online and Phantasy Star Online too.
Yeah.
It's Japan only, and we just aren't gonna get that. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But this is a big upgrade. This is something I've been talking about for years.
Yeah, because like Monster Hunter for me got kind of stale because it's like different monsters sometimes, different settings sometimes, but like the same game. Like very little change.
They would improve, and I would say Monster Hunter Cross is really good. And it's kind of like the end all be all. We listen to the fans, and this is the penultimate
of what Monster Hunter is at this time.
Yeah, and it's really good. But at that time, I've played a lot of Monster Hunter, and I got burnt out because we have it's called Generations here, right? Yeah. And it's going back, and you're playing on all of the classic maps, fighting the classic monsters. But when you've done that, hundreds of times farming for certain things, you realize I really don't want to be here.
Yeah.
It was a great entry point for fans, but or for new fans, but yeah, for old fans, I did kind of find myself. I loved it. Like, don't get me wrong, it's really enjoyable. But I kind of thought, man, I've been in this area
too many times
for years.
Yeah, because it's not like the kind of like fan servicey like look back at the beginnings that you get from like revisiting Shadow Moses or whatever. Because it's like, oh, we haven't been here and like since the first one.
Yeah,
this is so cool and it's a nice night. It's like, no, listen, I spent too much time here.
Yeah,
we're done.
I spent 150 hours.
Like I never want to see this place again. Like what is wrong with you?
Yeah,
but I mean, it was still cool. But yeah, like no, totally, I 100% get that.
And then they all look the same. They've looked the same since the PSP almost. And it's kind of like the same engine. Like there are improvements.
Like, there's been little improvements here and here, but it's been like the core. If you play Monster Hunter, you could have picked up any one of them, and it would be functionally the same. But this new one, like, wow, holy crap! Like
it looks great. I'm actually kind of ashamed that I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
Being a huge Monster Hunter fan. I haven't had time. Like I just beat the DLC for Resident Evil 7.
I haven't even started on Resident Evil 7. I feel I might have to borrow that.
It's good, but this Monster Hunter looks like it took everything into consideration that fans have said, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it just looks. It looks like it looks like it's doing to the Monster Hunter franchise what Breath of the Wild did for Zelda.
Yeah, it's like, a new start and a good one.
You can look at it and be like, that is Monster Hunter, but it plays like a brand new game. It has what you need to be a Monster Hunter, but none of the baggage.
Yeah, and I even have friends that I've tried to get to play Monster Hunter, that were completely against ever wanting to play it, and they've actually pre-ordered and been playing it before me.
Yeah.
And enjoying
it's
it.
Like,
So that's
the tables have turned.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I definitely want to dig into it. I'll probably end up getting it around the time you do because it's like time and money, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game looks fantastic. And it looks like there's a lot. I mean, I hadn't delved into a lot of it because I've been holding off from watching too much because I certainly don't want to torture myself like that by watching all this footage. But it looks like there's a lot more like customization and stuff in it too, so that's cool. But I'm not really sure.
Yeah, so I'm hoping. I'm hoping I get some time with it. But
yeah,
soon.
I saw somebody like create Frieza in that game. Like
yeah,
dude that looks
someone's created Tommy Wiseau
that's
already.
Amazing.
So the internet
that's beautiful.
The internet has been bountiful and busy with this new Monster Hunter. Amazing.
Yeah. Another game that's getting a new installment that I'm really excited about. It's not out yet, but it's coming out this year. Is the new Soul Calibur. I am so pumped because it's like the one fighting game that I'm actually good at. Like I'm not terrible at fighting games, but like I'm not like great. But I love Soul Calibur. It's so good.
Soul Calibur's that's a game where like anybody can play it and feel like they're doing good. Yeah. Until they play someone else and they realize how garbage they are.
Yeah, well, it's because there's a lot of nuance, but the bar of entry is lower.
Yeah.
So like you don't need frame perfect combos and like quarter circle forward or any of the Shoryuken nonsense. Like it's literally all the combos are like you can just learn them by looking at them. Like you don't have to do any fancy. It's never going to be like I have to practice so I can even do this move. Mm-hmm. It's just learning the moves and then learning to use them at the right times. And they've actually they've taken that philosophy even further. They want it to be even more accessible. Mm-hmm. So they've added some new systems, and I don't know fully how they work, but there's like a new like counter system that's supposed to be really easy, and it's meant to make the battle flow even more easy. Even if you're a new player, and be more engaging.
Well, if it's anything like Soul Calibur 3 and 4, and the hours upon hours upon hours that we played, it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
it will be a staple of our game diet.
Yeah,
for a while.
I don't know if I said Soul Calibur 5 when we started, but it's Soul Calibur 6. I don't know why. I think I said 5 at the beginning. But it's Soul Calibur.
That's okay, yeah. Because I thought it was 5.
Yeah, no.
Well, I didn't realize.
Because nobody played
right.
3. Like, nobody played 3. We all played 2, and then we played 4 on 360. Yeah. And that's it.
I think I had 3.
Yeah.
But I only played like a minute or 2 of it.
Yeah. But the character creation is coming back. That is confirmed.
Oof. Best.
That's gonna be the best. Like that brought so much extra life to it. Because like once you're done with the game, it's like all right, but now you can. Like I kept running out of room for making characters.
Yeah.
Like that was some fun stuff.
We made some good stuff.
I'm super excited to see that come back. That's gonna be later this year. So like yeah, I mean that'll be. It's about time. It's been like 7 years or something. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Another fighting game. Coming out to touch on briefly, and actually, geez, I might have lost track of time. I don't know if it is out. Last I checked, the beta was out, but I think the game is out. Is the Dragon Ball Fighter Z?
I think it came out.
Yeah, I think it just came out. That looks really awesome.
Is it Fighter Z or is it Fighters?
Yo, I'm not sure, but that's a bit of a point of contention for I guess British people, right? Because it's like because is it Dragon Ball Fighter Z or Dragon Ball Fighters?
Yeah.
With a Z at the end.
All I know is it looks awesome.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of it. And apparently the storyline, from what I've seen of it, it's completely, or at least mostly original as they get. With like, original characters and stuff, in addition to, of course, the Z Fighters. Mm-hmm. Or Z Fighters if you're in Britain. But apparently it's really good. Like, which is unusual because normally it's like the Dragon Ball storyline. It's like, okay, yeah, I've seen this now. That's cool.
I have to beat Reddit.
Oh, we got. Okay, I beat it, so I got we got some what ifs. That's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But apparently, it's got a legit story.
Nice.
And like the visuals, it's like watching an updated version of the anime. recently, so that's cool. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited. We got some
good stuff on the horizon.
Hopefully, 2018 is as good for games as 2017 was.
Yeah, and we're hoping to push out more content. Super Comedy Bros.
Oh yeah, I guess
centric as well.
We might as well touch on that since y'all are here and you sat through our whole podcast.
If you have,
if you have,
thank you.
Thank you a lot. We're getting back to our one Super Comedy Bros video.
You support me so well, Mom.
Right, of the 5 people watching.
Yeah.
We're getting back to the one Super Comedy Bros a video a month, as well as we're gonna start trying to get other videos out as well, like just touching on different types of stuff and just seeing what people like. That won't impact the core Super Comedy Bros videos though. Don't worry about that. So we're hoping to get a lot of new videos out. That we hope you all enjoy.
We're gonna be the time has freed up for us. And 2018 feels like a pretty good year moving forward. So we do hope that we can follow through. We're hoping follow through.
Man, there are just a few. There's like one syllable that between two opposite meanings.
Yeah.
Right?
So hopefully we can bring you guys more content. We've got some good stuff cooking up. We're going to try to hit some more cons and actually give coverage of said cons.
Yeah, and hopefully meet some of you guys.
Yeah, and. I may have some cool arcade and video game history related stuff coming up.
Yeah, we want to do some more.
Cross your fingers and clap to bring Super Comedy Bros back to life.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, we appreciate that, and part of that is going to be the podcast once a week to touch base with you guys and also to keep us on task.
And please, we do want to engage more with our fans. So if we sound like 2 bored as heck dudes on this podcast and you have some suggestions, please leave them.
Yeah.
Go back to our old videos and comment if you don't like what we're doing. And we're going to try to reach out to you, but we want you guys to reach out to us.
Yeah, because we're having fun here, but if it doesn't, if that's not coming through to you, let us know what you'd like to see from us going forward as we're trying to find the channel's identity. But we're just we're happy for the fans that we do have. I think we have 30.
30?
Yeah,
30
about
fans?
30. About 30 fans. So we appreciate it. We appreciate all of you, and we hope to bring you lots of stuff this year. Yeah. I guess we'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah.
And in February, you can plan probably about mid-month a new Super Comedy Bros. So if you want to be notified whenever that stuff goes up, make sure you click the bell because YouTube doesn't always like to let people know when their subscriptions update, especially smaller channels. I think it does kind of deprioritize us. So if you want to know when we put up the new stuff, click that little bell. And
definitely make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram because we're going to be having content kind of related.
Yeah. So like we'll be doing short little videos that we can't make into a whole video. We put them up on social media. So yeah, we got the links in the description for our social media accounts, and that'll help you keep up to date with us. So, excuse me. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.